You can make $70,000 a month. Maybe I'm doing something right if I'm making more money than my teachers. I never grew up thinking like, oh, I want to be an affiliate marketer one day. That's not a kid's dream, right? Trauma can be your superpower, but it can also be your biggest enemy after some time.
The biggest lessons in your life are what comes from your visualization, what comes from the journey you take internally. It's the internal lessons that give you the most value.
So many elements of my vision board became a reality, and I made that vision board in like 2019. It's not about achieving things you don't have, but also about keeping the things you have. I figured that I should perhaps trust that the universe has my back. Hey, you want a lot of money. How much are you working? Are you working 24/7? Do you still have time to talk to your mom? Do you even have time to work out? And I see a lot of these gurus, they buy all their cars, all their whatever it is after they drop the course, not before.
Anyone that says that ayahuasca, DMT or mushrooms hasn't changed their life, hasn't been taking it in what I term as a controlled environment for the right reason, they haven't been called to it.
I'm gonna sit on this chair until I make it. And this was an invisible contract to myself.
And we are back with another banger in Dubai on the Frankie Lee podcast. You know what you're listening to, you know. And this man here has done 10 million a year in affiliate marketing revenue. The man, Alex Micol, welcome to the show, mate. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Frank. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad we finally got down to this, man. I'm glad we're finally getting into the things. I think, obviously, look, affiliate marketing comes with a lot of stigma from a lot of people because they don't probably understand it from the top level of how you've worked in it and obviously scaled up. And they probably don't understand that you've probably been in this industry since you're about 18 anyway. So I want to give people a bit of a context because, when you see all these YouTube videos, as you know, people get into the scammy mentality and they think it's the course gurus and all that kind of stuff. So I want to really break down your knowledge and all the info that you've picked up over the years and put it into actionable steps for these people. But if we can just go back, obviously you started generating your first kind of thing by building Facebook fan pages from when you were like 12 years old. So just give people a bit of an insight into that.
Yeah, so I fell into affiliate marketing. I didn't even know that was a thing. And I also fell into Facebook fan pages. So I was 12, as you said, big Ronaldo fan, very competitive, and therefore sometimes very lonely because my friends didn't really like me back then. So I had a lot of time and I would spend many hours a day at the computer on Facebook because that was the new thing. And then I discovered that you could create Facebook fan pages. So I was playing like all those video games on Facebook, and then I wanted to play something new, and I wanted to discover what this Facebook pages are about. And then it asked me like, what do you want to name your Facebook page? And I was like, okay, let's call it Cristiano Ronaldo Videos. And then I invited all my friends. I got like 100 likes, and I was like, damn, that's amazing. But then I started researching, and there were pages with 100,000 likes. So I was like, why do they have so many more followers than I have? Like, how do they do that? And then I got into that. And then after like 4 months, I reached 1,000 followers on my Facebook page. And I was like, like the happiest kid on earth. But still, like, how do I get to 100,000? And my goal, I remember, I just told myself, I want to have the biggest Ronaldo fan page out there. And long story short, I think I reached 100,000 followers after maybe 8 months. It's a bit blurred because it's like so many years ago, but then it got stolen. Repeated the same process, it got stolen again. I was able to grow these Facebook pages over time faster because I had a good connection of other fan page owners. So we would do share for share or do like content stuff. So content locking stuff. So to unlock a news, for example, you have to press on a like button, which was my own Facebook page, for example. So other pages would promote that link, and then they would just the followers would end up liking a page, sometimes without even knowing. So I found some tricks, but then at some point, I just figured out the recommended pages, the feature came up, and I found out how I could place my pages on top of everyone else. So if you liked an official fan page of Cristiano Ronaldo, Real Madrid, or any football player, my pages would be recommended right after. So I remember one day I woke up with 50,000 new followers. The day after again. And I remember like in 7 days on one page, I grew 1 million followers. And then the reach was crazy. Like I was reaching like 25 million people on one single page. And I started getting money offers. And it didn't make sense at first. But then after some, like rather quickly, I understood like, okay, if I knew that advertising in TV costs millions of dollars. Why is that? Because they reach millions of people. So it makes sense that someone wants to pay me $1,000 to post something on a page that reaches millions of people, right? So common sense, like little steps, bum, 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 bum. And then I was like, okay, I accept the money. And then I started selling pages, like building new pages from scratch, selling them. So theme pages, like PlayStation 4 would come out, create a page around PlayStation 4, sell it, keep some of the money, buy the actual PlayStation 4, and then move on. I mean, as a 15-year-old, what do you want to do? But before I knew it, I got hired by the biggest sports media company, I would say in East Europe by now. They grew a lot. I met the owner in Mykonos this summer. It was like a cool moment because I don't know, it was like a full circle moment. Like I started when I was like 15 and almost no money to my name. And now like we both went our ways. We both had our successes, and he sold his company for like $100 million, like something like that, some crazy amount.
Yeah.
So this company is like Sportel Media Group, and they hired me back then to like manage their Facebook fan pages, including official fan pages such as the one of Dmitry Berbatov. So it was like, oh my God, this is amazing because he's Bulgarian. Yeah. And I flew there, met them. But I realized that after, working with them for like a couple months, that was my thing, because I had a boss, I had someone to
report to, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I couldn't, but that wasn't, that's not really a problem. But the main problem was I couldn't execute what I had in mind. So then money was good because, I was making like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. If I sold a big page, even more on that specific month, and I would still go into high school and all of that. So then at some point I was like, you know what? I want to focus on what I have here, because obviously I'm doing something right, even though my teacher says that I suck at school or whatever. But I'm not a loser. I understand that maybe I'm doing something right if I'm making more money than my teachers. So I quit this job, read all those books that everyone reads.
Which books?
Like Napoleon Hill, Going into Visualization, Thinking Grow Rich, exactly. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I even went to a seminar of Jordan Belfort, because that was the time when The Wolf of Wall Street was booming. And also that's the first time that I heard someone saying that you could do $70,000 a month. That scene. I make $70,000 a month. Really? Well, 72, something like that. So it was like, I woke up once to the radio, and the radio was promoting the movie with that particular scene. And I woke up 6:30 in the morning. You can make $70,000 a month? Holy crap, that's amazing. What would I do? And then I started visualizing all of that. I'm big into visualization. We can speak about it as well. And then I just went back to it. I bought new Facebook pages, this time investing my own money, buying American fan pages, and then sending traffic to affiliate sites, which would pay me, let's say, for 1,000 visitors, $10. And then I didn't know if it was going to work. So I remember paying a page like $300 for 100,000 followers. And those $300, I started making them back every single day, because the page was super cheap. Like I bought it from a guy, I didn't even know that it had that much potential. So then I started making like this amount of money. I was 17, last year of school, was working all summer to figure things out. And I didn't want to go to school, but because I was making all this money and I wanted to focus on it. So my schedule was crazy. Like I would work from, I would finish school at 4, be home by 5 p.m., work until 1 or 2 a.m., maybe hit a joint, because back then I was smoking weed, and that would help me fall asleep, wake up at 6, work for an hour, and go back to school. But I was making $5, $10, sometimes even $15,000 in a month. That was like the peak month. So by the end of the school, I had like $50,000 to my name, and I understood that I wanted to continue that. And the natural step of sending clicks to a website is, why would the website pay you? Because those websites have ads. And why do people invest in ads? Because they're selling products. So I was like, if I want to go to the next step, I probably need to climb this ladder. And that's where I found out about affiliate marketing.
It's a crazy journey to think that you've done this by natural curiosity. And I want people to really understand what you've just said there from a natural curiosity point of view. It's like, because you pursued it through natural curiosity, you enjoyed the whole process. I think a lot of people these days are focused on just, how do I make money, rather than not enjoying the process. You can tell when you speak about this that you've been through a process that you've thoroughly enjoyed at every step of the way. And there's been lots of penny dropped moments that have just kind of on the way led you down another path, led you down another path, led you down another path. When you finally come to this conclusion that affiliate marketing is now the play for you, what kind of steps from there did you use to pivot into it so that you could make money and kind of leverage your time that way?
I had no idea what I was getting into, because it was the first time that I had to invest in ads, and that comes with a lot of technical aspects to it as well. Now it's much easier. Back then there wasn't such thing as a Facebook pixel. So how do you track sales? So that was like a complicated thing at first, because no one was teaching me. I had a friend, so we would exchange informations, and I wouldn't buy off Facebook. I would buy off like other traffic sources like pop ads or freaking porn sites, like anything back then, just to get the ball rolling. And yeah, so that was like weird experience as well, because I didn't have any discipline. I didn't have the school part that would kind of keep me busy. So I had 24 hours to available, and I had to learn how to manage myself. And then after a few months of losses, I lost a few $1,000s. Fortunately, I had enough money to invest it on, and I started cracking something. I started making like $100 a day in profit, which was amazing. It's the first time I do $100 a day, not with Facebook fan pages, but this new thing. And I didn't have time to continue the Facebook pages, so that was almost dead. So I just dedicated 100% of my time to this affiliate marketing thing, buying ad. By the way, affiliate marketing is the process that you're selling third-party products, and you don't own them, you don't even see them. You just need to make sure that they're good, and your only responsibility is to make ads. And the way you drive traffic, that's up to you. So people think that you need like a fan base or something, like a big audience to make it work. That's true if you want to go for organic traffic, like my Facebook pages approach. But I discovered that by investing in ads, there's way more scale, and that's like unlimited scale actually, because you can reach the entire world if you want, and you don't need anything but some initial capital to actually make that work.
When you say initial capital, how much initial capital are we talking about?
I recommend people that are, because now I'm like public about affiliate marketing, and I want to teach people how to do that as well, because I'm biased. It changed my life and it changed my friend's life, so I wish the same to everyone. But I always say, like, I think if you spend like, if you have $100, $200 that you can invest in a week, and you can like, and the money goes to Facebook, it doesn't go to anyone. It shouldn't go to any fake guru, it shouldn't go to anyone else, but actual ad platforms. Sign up at affiliate networks and then promote their products that they have. If you know what you're doing, even if you spend $100, you're likely gonna make some money back. So it's like maybe at first you will see zero sales, but I've seen people, including myself, making sales almost right away. So you spend $200 and maybe you make $50 back, $100 back. So your loss is not 200, it's less.
So the way I see affiliate marketing and the way you've described it there is, I see, look, you invest $200 or $300 in ads. Even if you make $100, the $200 you've supposedly lost, you haven't lost, because you've invested that in your own personal growth, as into your learning. Because probably the week after, you're not going to lose $200. So what essentially with affiliate marketing allows you to do is it allows you to learn how to become really proficient at learning ads while minimizing your downside risk.
Yeah, because you acquire data. As you said, you learn how to make better ads each time. I just wanted to make it clear what's happening with the money, so there's no confusion. There is an actual initial loss, but yes, if you're giving up, it's lost. If you continue doing it, you're just getting better at it, like with everything else.
Yeah, I think it's good that you've said that there's an initial loss. And one thing you mentioned there is, like, there's a lot of fake gurus at the moment. There's a lot of gurus out there on YouTube that are trying to sell you a course on copywriting, trying to sell you a course on e-com, trying to sell you a course on everything, as you know. Why did you mention the term fake guru? I mean, it's something you must have a feeling towards as well. Like, what's your feeling on these gurus?
It's interesting because I became a guru myself, but in the industry, so we are, all the affiliate marketers, all the solid fucking good marketers I know, they are like legit people. Like they focus on the business. They don't have time to go out. They don't even care about going out and speaking about certain things, how this business works. So this term fake guru, it's almost like it's always been a joke in the industry.
Yeah.
Because when you go to the conference, especially like, I don't know, the affiliate world conference where a lot of good marketers go. Not only affiliates, brand owners go. Like, there are big brands showing up because they understand the value of working with extremely good media buyers, people that are good at finding customers online with their own money, which is a big difference with all the SMMA game, whatever. Like, affiliates risk their own money to make the company more money.
Yeah.
So that's like, for example, one of the big companies that we know is I don't know, Mindvalley is using affiliates, or there are many different companies that are really understanding the business. Anyways, so we would see that some external guy would have some success, would come to the affiliate world to take some pictures and then promote that he had success in this space, but all he did was maybe one successful campaign and maybe made some profits, maybe not, but he has those screenshots, maybe even fake sometimes, and immediately makes a course out of it. And then when you get to speak to these guys, you can tell by how they act that it's just pure show, because their main business is not affiliate. Their main business is saying that they made affiliate marketing work, or saying they made e-commerce or drop shipping work, whatever it is. So I never liked gurus, because I think it comes with a moral responsibility if you decide to go in the space, because people believe you, and your job is to make people believe if you want to sell your course, whatever it is. So you need to be absolutely legit. Like, I'm like too how do you say, strict with it, and that's why I never felt like I could even speak about the subject publicly, because I needed to prove myself that I know what I'm talking about, because these other guys don't. And I confronted a few gurus when they would come to the show, or, you know, like, why are you doing this? Why do you lie about these numbers? It's obviously a lie. Like, I talking to you, understand that you have no idea what you're talking about. Well, very little.
Well, I was talking to you before the podcast about a year when you did 30 million in revenue, and you said to me that only 20% of that was profit. You know, because you're openly honest about those kind of numbers. Whereas I think a lot of the people that you're talking about, they're not honest about those numbers. They tell people that their turnover is their profit margin, kind of thing.
Exactly. And I also told you that those $30 million, that was the revenue generated for the partners that we work with.
Yeah.
That's in commissions paid to us. I have to check, but it was like between 20 and $22 million, something like that, which is still amazing, but it's not 30. So for me, it's like always important to be very specific. You open the video saying that I make $10 million a year, because that's this year. And we talked about it. I didn't want to say 30 million as if it's every single year. It was my best year. So, you know, I want to...
Yeah, but your best year, you did 30 million in revenue. This year, you're on track to go way past 10, probably 15. And this is what people need to understand, is like affiliate marketing, dependent on the offer that you're running, and dependent on, you know, the variables, how much commission is going to you, what you've got to pay and what you've got to run in ads, that's dependent on what your profit margin is on, you know, how much you get. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot of... Why do you think there's so much smoke and mirrors in this space, essentially?
Because it's profitable, unfortunately. A lot of people make a lot of money selling courses, even though they don't have much knowledge around the topic that they're teaching. But it can still be valuable to some people because it's an eye-opener. So even if that's a good... It's a double-edged sword. So it's not like it's just bad or it's just good. It's like yin and yang. So there are good sides to it and there are bad sides of it. But I think if you go out there lying to people, yes, it could bring good waves. I'm not there to judge. Maybe they need the money. Maybe they're still doing good. They bring people together and then, you know, good things happen. So it's not bad. Like, it's not entirely bad. Let's put it that way. But I think you still have more responsibility in being honest. Like, I think like if you deceive people in order to profit from them, I think that's borderline close to evil. But if you're still helping them, that's good. That's why I say borderline. It's not really evil, but I think you shouldn't like, I think honesty is like, people deserve honesty, so they have realistic expectations. And I see a lot of these gurus, they buy all their cars, all their whatever it is after they drop the course, not before. So that's
and the car in the ad is a rented car. The apartment's a rented car. The watch is probably on finance, and like there's very stigma to this. I was actually speaking to a friend of mine who's got legitimate business and makes money outside of selling courses, but he got me and him were speaking about this the other day. He got kind of not duped. He went in with his eyes open, but he was genuinely trying to help people, and he sold 300 courses. And profitability after he'd run ads and done all the stuff, because he's got genuine scope in the space that he released a course. He had these 300 students, and when he looked at the analytics of like how many of these people actually finished the course, like you're talking only 10%. So 30 people out of his group of 300 are out there in the marketplace making the kind of numbers that he predicted they would make. Now he's got 270 people that he has to he stopped selling the course because he didn't want to damage his reputation predicated on like he's a genuine businessman going out there and doing it. But what he realized was, as soon as you put your name to a course, you've taken your eyes off your main thing that you should be earning money with and practicing in the real world. And two, it has a chance to damage your reputation because you can't give 300 people in the group all the same results, because it's predicated on how much they want to do it, whether they're going to even finish the course, whether they're going to even finish the videos. So as soon as you go into course selling, it's like you put yourself
vulnerable
in this pressure cushion.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're just affiliate marketing and just doing it,
you don't have that.
You don't have that.
Yeah.
So it's like, why do you want to educate the world? Like, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to put yourself in that position?
Because I feel like I played every level in the affiliate marketing game as I know it, and I think this could be an exciting new chapter as well, and it's a good business as well. So I always wanted to make content. So what's a product that I can build that is useful to people, that is good, that can finance all this content production? Because I invest a lot of money in my content, and I'm at a loss with all the content that I put out.
You're speaking to the king of losses on content, man. I've lost money for 4 years every week, bro. Like every week, but I play it to a bigger game. I'll give the audience a bit of an insight. I've built a course on something that I'm highly skilled at, which is content removal. I built a course in 2017-18. I've still got the course there on the rack. The course would help out thousands of people, but it'd also have thousands of other people buying the course, not implementing what I say, and also leaving me with a bad reputation potentially on the back of them not doing what I tell them to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I've never put it out there. So like it's just like, because I feel like as soon as you step into that game, you risk you're putting your house out there.
Yeah, but that's why I want to do it in a way that I feel comfortable with. I don't have to push my course hard to make a living. So I do what I want. Yeah. And I do what I feel it's right. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I can disappear.
That's the key, isn't it? Yeah.
You know, yes, that is the key, because if you need money, you will do everything you need to have money. And that's exactly what I did with affiliate marketing. So I just hyper focused on it because I knew it could blow up, and it did. And after I achieved that level of comfort, when the level of comfort where you don't have to check when you go out and eat and you get food, you don't check the bill, that type of comfort, that rent is covered, that you can travel, that you can help mom out, dad out, that type of comfort.
What's a realistic number, like really bare bones realistic, that you think someone with no experience now could go to in affiliate marketing inside 6 to 12 months of being an actual practitioner of doing of taking action on whether it's YouTube videos, tutorials, courses, whatever? But if they actually fully all went in on affiliate marketing, what realistic number could you say that someone could be doing per month?
It's subjective, but there are people that after months they did nothing. I don't know how much effort they put in. There's
not a lot, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I for me it's very hard to believe that if you work a year on something, especially affiliate marketing, where anything could blow up the day after, you're not gonna be able to make a living out of it. Like, for me, that's absolutely insane.
So $10,000 a month, would you say, is attainable?
It is possible. I know a guy. Well, he had some experience. He didn't make much money with it, but he had some experience with like TikTok viral videos and promoting dropshipping stores. And he joined in February, and after a month or so, I met him because he was here in Dubai. He showed me his ad account. He was making $200 profit a day. I was like, that's $6,000 a month. I was like, that's very impressive, but show me the ad account. He shows me, and I gave him a few pointers. I was like, why are you not spending more money? Because if you spend, let's say, $500 and you make $200 back, if there is, it's a subjective case, but if you see like that it's pretty stable, and you try, and you could try to go up in ad spend. So I told him, I think, given what you showed me, it's safe to say you could double the budget. started making $400. After 3 days, he made his first $1,000 a day in profit. And now I think last month he told me, we met at the Halloween. Were you here for Halloween?
No, I wasn't here though.
So there was this crazy Halloween party in Dubai, which I don't know, a lot of people went, and I met him there, and he told me he made $290,000 profit in 1 month, and he started launching ads in January. That's like a great.
So that's a great case. So let's give him some free. Let's give him some free game on this podcast so people can actually use this in action. Because I like to make my podcast actionable, as you know, and give people the real source. So rather than people going and buying a course now, rather than going and watching some randomer on YouTube that says he does affiliate marketing and not, let's talk to the guy that actually has done affiliate marketing and scaled it. What is the fastest way? So do people go and get an offer from ClickBank now and start running it with Facebook ads? What's an actual way for someone to get to their first $100, $200 a day now? What's the fastest way that you know?
Yeah, you mentioned ClickBank. There are many other affiliate networks. I would recommend people starting with gadgets, selling gadgets, because ClickBank has a lot of like supplement health-related products. And when you want to promote those products on Facebook ads, there are a lot of more policies for the health products, exactly, because it's very delicate. But gadgets, on the other hand, glasses, gadgets for your computer, for your phone, whatever it is, it's way more easy. It's double. Like you don't need. It's hard to fuck up and make deceiving promises like lose 10 pounds in a week by taking this pill. You cannot do that on a gadget. So take those, find networks that have gadgets. Focus on probably products that have like a range of like a commission between $20 and $40. Why is that? Because it's easier to generate sales if the product costs less. So let's say if you're selling a product that costs $10, cost to consumer, it's easier to get a sale for that product rather than a product that costs $300, because it would be way more expensive, and you need a higher intent to get someone to buy a product for $300. So for a beginner, you need more capital, because if you sell a product that costs $30 to cost to consumer and your commission is, let's say, $15, $20, which is possible, then you can spend, let's say, $100, and you spend almost 10 times your commission on ads. So that gives you a good metric to know if that product and your ads are actually going to work or not. But if you spend $100 for a product that costs $300, even if you don't make a sale, that's absolutely normal. You probably need more money than that. Also, it takes time to optimize things. So focus on this. Create your ads account. I recommend Facebook because I talk a lot about YouTube ads, but YouTube is more expensive. YouTube takes more time to actually optimize and understand who your ideal customer is. Well, Facebook is cheaper for the initial. So for a beginner, Facebook is a no-brainer. Don't start with, if you sign up at an affiliate network and the affiliate network gives you a URL that everyone uses, likely, don't go for that because you're going to get banned. It's very easy. Because if another affiliate did some mistakes with the same domain, let's say yourproduct.com, and he got banned because bans are a big thing with Facebook ads, then you're likely going to get banned as well. So try to work with networks that allow you to have your own custom domain, so you eliminate the first problem.
Hurdle, yeah.
Yes. And start spending $100, $200 a day and make at least 4 different ads. Ideally, work with products that have existing video materials, so you don't have to shoot everything yourself. But even if you did, it's not a problem. I use my phone to shoot ads. Like I make my hooks and some parts of the videos just with this device, which everyone has. So that's very easy. And once you start understanding, like you can go first. You can go spy on ads. Like there's the Facebook ad library. It's completely public. You can check that out. There are other tools like AdSpy or Vitao. I know the owner of Vitao is a good guy, and you can see like what the top performing ads look like. So you can go there, check what they're doing, what they're up to, and what the big players are doing, and learn from them. And try to replicate a few of these ads by making and editing your own videos. You don't need to be a video editor. I use iMovie for the most of my ads. And the complicated stuff, now I hire people to do that. But
how important is it that you get people on your email list from when you send them from the Facebook ad to the product? Are you trying to get them on the email list?
And do that.
No?
No, I just straight sale. Let's call it straight sale. So you have an ad, video ad about, I don't know, this kitchen gadget, whatever it is. Click on the bottom, straight on the product page, buy or not.
See, so why? I was speaking to an affiliate marketer called Luke McGuire way back when I first started the podcast. He's one of the top affiliate marketers in Australia. And he was saying at that time, which is we're now, 2020, it was in 2020 at the time, he was saying in 2020 that he wants to capture all the data to build his email list.
That's
and then if he doesn't get the sale on the back end, he still acquired the email so he can market all his other products and retarget them with his other stuff.
That's smart.
So there's two ways. But what you're essentially saying, Alex, is that by removing that step, you just remove the opportunity of not losing the sale potentially.
Well, putting a pre-lander like like a step in between creates friction.
Yeah.
So that could cause your cost of acquisition go up or down.
Yeah.
But if you find a balance between keeping a good cost per sale low and capturing the email, God bless you. Yeah. So I don't really do that. I tried a few things, but I'm also pretty laid back. I have a few brands that I work with now, and I know many affiliates. They find a product and they just scale it. It's good to build assets, but yeah, I mean, I think it costs too much. Like, you create too much friction, and you don't want it. You want to sell. Yeah. So maybe you can find an agreement with the brand that you're working with, or the network, to work with those emails, perhaps, or you can simply pay to get some email lists.
Yeah.
But I'm not the right guy when it comes down to email marketing. Like, it's not my main thing. I don't do my revenues with.
You're a specific guy that has driven all of his revenue from driving traffic from A, traffic source, to B, product page. And that's how you've driven all your revenue. You've kept it super simple. There's no steps in between. You're not trying to capture any data other than the pixel data, and you've kept it super simple. That way, you've just become really proficient at selecting the product, and picking the traffic source, and then driving them to that traffic page.
And making videos.
Yeah. So let's dive into that a little bit more, because I really want to give them as much source as possible within this that's actionable that they can take away. When I go into these networks that have all these different products, what are the key things that so obviously I've gone to the gadget section now because I'm looking at gadgets.
As a beginner,
because this is, as a beginner, this is where we're going to go. I'm a beginner too, because I've never affiliate marketed at your level, so I'm just thinking about what they would do. They've gone to the gadget section, they're looking at that. What are the key metrics I'm looking for on the pages of all these listed gadgets am I looking for the number of affiliates selling the product?
That's a good, I like to have conversations with the so-called affiliate managers. And not every network has them. For example, ClickBank, as far as I know, they don't really have that unless you get to certain levels. But anyways, so like I like to know what the top performing products are. Maybe they have these networks send them out in a newsletter. That can be interesting. And I want to find products that have a combination of three things: the brand quality. So I want to be sure that the brand has good ratings, that the product works. That they have perhaps good endorsements, because a lot of good brands start endorsing more celebrities and whatnot. So if they have any of that, that's amazing. So that's the first thing I want to check out. Second thing is the video material. So if they have existing video materials, so that I don't know if the products are going to work for me. So I want to minimize the initial work to try to find out if that product is even worth working on. So if I have a good base, even raw footage that I can use to build a 60-second video ad or 3-minute video ad, whatever it is, for a gadget, which is enough. Like, my ads are way longer, but that's for supplements. Then I can easily start testing ads. The third thing is the commission. So I always look for a good ratio between the commission and the cost to consumer. So the example is, if your commission is $50 and the cost to consumer is $60, that's amazing. That means that if you generate a sale starting $60, the starting price point is $60, you're going to get paid $50. You might be wondering, how is that even sustainable for a business? Why would they pay you $50 out of $60? But that's exactly the beauty of affiliate marketing, because you work with companies that understand that they're not making perhaps profit on the first sale. They're just getting a customer almost for free, because they have initial AOVs, average order values, that are going to cover up the initial user acquisition, and maybe they're gonna make some profit. But after that, they're gonna have all the emails, contact details, and they can start cross-sell, upsell, downsell, anything they want, and that's where these brands make the money. So these brands wanna be as competitive as possible on the marketing side by paying affiliate marketing top dollars so that they can acquire as many customers as possible and keep the affiliates happy. So that's the game. So that's why it's important to have a good ratio. A bad ratio would be you sell a product for $100, you get paid $20. That's the majority of affiliate programs out there. Oh, we're going to pay you 10% referral commission, or 20%. Even 30% can be very low. I get paid 70%, 80%, sometimes even higher. Like if you work with, I don't know, SaaS companies, so software as a service, they can pay even more. Maybe it costs, I don't know, $10 monthly, but they pay you $30, $40, whatever it is.
Pay you the first 3 months because they know that
the retention.
they've calculated that the average customer may retain on their platform for 18 months. So they know they can spend up to $180 to acquire that customer. So
Right.
they've got their numbers straight at the back end. Then they can offer the affiliate more on the front end.
Correct.
Let's go even deeper. How can businesses now, because there's a lot of business people that listen to this podcast, a lot of people that out there that haven't got affiliates as part of their strategy for scaling their brands. How can you give me some examples of some businesses that could implement affiliate marketing and how they could do it?
There are so many niches. So I started working with health insurances. I work with supplement brands. I used to work with financial newsletters, like, I don't know, groups of people that share informations about, I don't know, stocks, whatever. You can sell gadgets. You can sell literally anything. You can even promote, I don't know, their solar panel campaigns. Lead generation is a super big vertical in affiliate marketing, which has all those separate categories. Solar, depth, some people do casino. Now it's the season, because it's end of the year, it's season of ACA and Medicare in the US, which is big. ACA is Affordable Care Act, essentially like a government-backed program that gives insurances to people so people can apply. And there's big money involved because the government and the insurance companies want to reacquire the same customers, and they're ready to pay you, I don't know, $60, $50 to get someone on the phone that is interested and pre-qualified to actually get the insurance or the subsidies, whatever they're.
I've got a friend in Australia that I've never had on the podcast, but he makes tens of millions a year, and all he does is he front faces pet insurance. So basically, he has a website. It looks like another insurance website that you go to. He runs ads to it, and he acquires pet insurance customers, and the pet insurance is fulfilled and quoted on the back end by the main insurance company. And there's so many insurance companies that are not insurance companies. It's just affiliate marketing.
Yeah,
basically.
They're just the front end.
They're front end.
Think it's them,
Yeah.
but they're just redirecting the leads to the higher bidder,
to the highest
bidder, yeah.
to the highest bidder with the cheapest insurance premiums. I mean, some of the biggest affiliate marketing plays are things like comparethemarket.com and confused.com and Skyscanner and all this. It's all affiliate marketing, isn't it? Because essentially they're sitting there as the overarching flight, scanning all the flights, and then they get paid a commission every time they send one to Emirates, send one to British Airways. You know what I mean? And that's
Yes.
affiliate marketing at scale, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's like so I think there's room. I think once people understand what affiliate marketing is and how every day in their life they're seeing it at scale, and it can't be scammy anymore because it has to be legitimate. Because
It is legit,
Yeah.
but it's because of people in the space that, I don't know, were promoting courses like 5 years ago, or, you know, there was even like a problem, like not a problem, but when Facebook, Cambridge Analytica, the scandal happened in 2017, I actually met Alexander Nix at one of the conferences, and it made rumors that affiliate marketing was associated to the CEO of Cambridge Analytica, for example. For me, before I knew what he was actually doing in the back end, he was like a fucking hero, because he was like the man. He was doing these behavioral targetings on Facebook, so to target people that want to save money, because on Facebook you can target demographics, interests, but not behaviors. So that was interesting. So back then I was like, oh wow, this guy's a genius. He's the G. But then I saw videos of how he was like misusing this weapon called marketing to deceive people, and that was disgusting. But that's one thing that also impacted a bit affiliate marketing. Or I don't know, again, gurus that promise the world that you can make money right away when you don't, and they're not very upfront about it, also because they don't have the right experience. So yeah, it's kind of like this weird thing on the internet that everyone heard already, but no one really knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, look into it. Come to one of the shows. Like, it's not my show, but I grew up. This was my university. I started going to these affiliate marketing conferences since I was 18. So first sneaking in, because I had to go to Las Vegas, and Las Vegas, you have to be 21. So by sneaking in, and now I speak at them. I go there. I have developed friendships, and have many amazing friends because of this. Affiliate marketing has a great community, which I don't feel like there is such place, a yearly meetup. It's not even yearly. It's like it's every quarter almost, like it, where people reunite. Dropshipping doesn't have that. SMMA doesn't have that. All these, but affiliates, 3 times a year, 4 times a year, they meet somewhere, go party at the best clubs, and while doing that, they network, they exchange information. I think that's beautiful.
I've met quite a few top affiliates as I've gone around the world. A lot of them are low key as anything. A lot of them are low key. You wouldn't even know. I've met kids that are like 21, running up 10 million a year, and no one knows who they are. They don't want anyone to know who they are. Yeah. They don't talk about their products, but they're the kindest people, and they're the biggest wizards you'll ever meet. These kids, and there's not just hundreds of them. There's not tens of them. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of these people around the world, in Bali, Thailand, the back streets in
US,
England, US, everywhere. Like the opportunities are endless. Quick one for you guys. This podcast is sponsored by ContentRemoval.com. As many of you are probably aware, I set up ContentRemoval.com in 2017 to help people remove all forms of online content, and I've looked after some of the biggest names and brands in the world doing it. And I would love to help you if you're struggling. If you're struggling to remove images, videos, search results, fake accounts, or anything online, go to ContentRemoval.com and we'll help you today. What I really want to do with this podcast, and what my intention when I started this podcast, was to help people break the patterns in their mind of what they think is possible. And I think having people on like yourself really does that. You talked a lot about visualization. You mentioned it earlier. We've spoken off the podcast about the value of it. Give me an insight into the visualization aspect and how you've used visualization into everything that you've achieved.
I was caught up in a feedback loop where that taught me that if I work hard 15 hours a day, I can actually achieve success. And I just lived with it for a few years. I'm young, so that's okay. Like, it doesn't, but I started living like, I wasn't really happy. Started having sometimes even panic attacks because I was working so much. And then one time I invited my now partner to visit me in London, because I used to live in London for like 2 years. And it was 9 a.m. We were having breakfast, and then we started working. And then after an hour, he's like, okay, I'm done. Let's go to the gym. I was like, what do you mean? I have like 8 more calls. I have to do a lot of stuff, blah, blah, blah. I was doing e-commerce back then, not as much affiliate. And he was mainly doing affiliate marketing. And he was done. I was like, fuck, you're making $5,000 a day in profit. I'm here working my ass off to make nothing in profit, because e-commerce was not really successful for me. I did a lot of revenue, but in terms of profit was very little, if not zero. And I was like, I'm doing something wrong. So by then, with other few experiences I did traveling with him that year, I figured that I should perhaps trust that the universe has my back, that it is possible to make money by working less. So as an experiment, I just started visualizing different outcomes in my future, even though I would work less, trusting that it was gonna work, even though I didn't have a plan. I knew I was visualized, I would close my eyes, and I built a vision board. And it's actually crazy to see that so many elements of my vision board became a reality. And I made that vision board in like 2019. I'm talking about screenshots that I edited with Inspect Element to put the figures that I wanted to achieve, just to put them on my vision board, or the relationship with my parents, which I wanted to keep, because it's not about achieving things you don't have, but also about keeping the things you have. Visualizing a gift that I wanted to give my mom. I know she wanted a watch, and I wanted to buy her that, or like a car or whatever it is. Skydiving. I didn't know how to skydive back then, and I wanted to skydive and meet cool people through it. So a bunch of different things. I had no clue I was going to do that, but I just, when you visualize things, you're strengthening your cognitive mapping. So because by visualization, all that is happening is you build images in your brain, which then reinforce your synapses, the connection between neurons. So when you're actually out of this visualization state, those 10 minutes that you take per day, your brain knows what to work on. And it's almost happening passively, but we're visualizing it regardless. Sometimes it's negative. We visualize, if something is not going to work out, I'm going to be in deep shit, I'm going to have these problems, blah, blah, blah. So we're doing this already actively. So what I call visualization is just positive thinking and creating a new reality through the feelings that I envision. So by visualizing things, I feel new emotions that shape my mind, that create a new reality. So that's the concept of
It's funny because as you're talking there and talking about this vision board, and you talk about, you're putting your bank account on there with edited photos.
Yeah.
On my laptop over there, and I'll show you after this podcast that I've got that exact same thing. I even got to the point in granular terms where I've got a vision board for every area of my life on my laptop over there that I had in 2019. A lot of that came true in regards to the watch that I'm wearing, in regards to all this other stuff, in regards to all this other stuff that came true in my life. Mm-hmm. And some of what I realized from a vision boards are so powerful because some of the things that I said that I wanted on there, I want people to understand you will get everything that you target in life and everything you say you want because we're living in an infinite time. Mm-hmm. Make sure though, I got some things on there that I thought I wanted, but when I got them, I realized, hold on, that wasn't the goal. I don't know if you've ever experienced that.
That you have to readapt the goal, basically.
So basically, get clear on not only what you want but why you want it. Because I think the why is very important. I think that's something I failed at in the past. I've hit some goals on that vision board, but I got some lessons from hitting those goals because some of the goals weren't aligned with what I actually truly wanted when I actually went into depth. I wanted certain things in life because I thought they were going to bring me happiness when I got there. And when I got there, I realized there's no happiness in this. I wanted that for someone else, not for me. So it's important that I think the visualization is powerful. I know it 100% works. It's worked in my life. It's worked in yours. But I just think it's very important that you ask yourself I'm happy to visualize this penthouse, for argument's sake, but why do you even want a penthouse? Why is that the goal? What is it you feel you lack by not having a penthouse right now? Like, is the penthouse the goal, or would you be happier having this and having something else? I don't know what the answer is for each person. I'm not saying don't go for the penthouse. I'm just saying when you get there, if you've got there and it's cost you some other certain things in your life because you've got there, are you happy with the result of that? Get that. So if you have a clear why behind the visualization, I think the things that you get are not only what you wanted, but they leave you feeling the way that you think you're going to feel because they were aligned with the metrics. Essentially, is it something you kind of view?
I think it's so important to be as specific as possible with your visualization process and do it often to experience like a whole range of things. So yes, okay, you want a lot of money, but how much are you working? Like, are you working 24/7? Do you still have time to talk to your mom? Do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend? Do you still hang out with your friends? Do you even have time to work out? So picturing all of those things to be sure that you're going in the right direction, as you say, that is aligned with what makes you happy. So I think that should be the goal. Like for me, it's like not about having a fat bank account and buy expensive things because I don't really care. It's more like I have the freedom that I want. And if I have the freedom, all doors are open because I'm not enslaved to my business or to anything that is providing all this money. So with freedom, that was my ultimate goal. So you want to work today? No. Okay.
I think freedom is the ultimate goal that we all have, but some of us put freedom to one side and then just start targeting things like money or these other things, or a car or a watch or this or that, and we start going and targeting these shiny objects.
Yes,
Whereas
they are shiny objects.
which freedom is the ultimate freedom of time, money, space, who you spend your time with, location. That is the goal.
Yeah.
There is no other goal. Like any other goal that anyone else has is all a shiny object compared to that freedom word.
Yeah, I agree. Like also you said spending time with, like freedom who you spend time with. It's so important. And also that's the beauty, if I think, of going back to a field, because you can be freaking alone. My partner, no one knows him. Like he actually, like if you're in the field, you might know him, but otherwise, like he can disappear. I can disappear tomorrow. It's fine. Like that's the beauty of it. Yeah. So you want to pick a business that gives you that freedom as well. Yeah. So yeah, sure. Like for example, like we're doing this publicly right now. If our goal is to have like 1 million subscribers, okay, how does that change your life? Maybe 1 million is okay. Like you can walk out, no one. But imagine, like, do you want to be as famous as Will Smith? Yeah. I don't want to be as famous as Will Smith. Like that sounds like a terrible idea. You cannot go anywhere without being harassed.
Well, it would be horrible. It would be horrible to be as famous as Will Smith without the money. What I'm saying is, if you get the fame without the money, you've just achieved a pointless acquisition in life, because you've got all the hassle of being famous, but you've got no monetary juice to be able to do what the fuck you want with.
But if you have attention, you can easily make money from that.
You can if you partner with the right people, but attention without money and then aligning with the wrong people because you've got this attention can also bring you even to the worst. Yeah. So like you got it. So attention is a good metric, but it's not the metric to optimize life for. Like I'll give you an example with this podcast. I want to be #1 education podcast in the world. There's no doubt about that. That's my goal. That's my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But on the journey to achieving #1 educational podcast in the world, which is my goal, which is my drive, which wakes me up every day, right? Is every conversation I'm in, I want to be fully present, fully in the moment, enjoying every rep, and that is what I do. And I don't worry about whether the analytics go up, down, sideways. Am I having conversations that I believe add value to the world, that I'm enjoying, that I love? And am I moving this audience further towards their goal every day? And no other podcaster, I believe, can say they're doing it with the purpose that I'm doing it with, because I feel that on every level of my being. And I think you even noticed it when you turned up today, right? Like how much I fucking love this shit.
Yeah.
So when you're in that groove and you love it, the same way that you love what you're doing and your affiliate marketing and what you're doing, when you're in that kind of groove, everything else fucking works itself out, doesn't it? It's gonna work itself out one way or another, isn't it?
Yeah.
Haven't you seen that in your life?
Yeah. Well, at the same time, a lot of people want to focus on their passion. Like, yeah, sure, but I don't know, like my passion was football, and maybe
you weren't good enough.
Yeah, so if I continued playing that for passion, I would have this life right now.
Yeah,
like unless I started earlier, like I don't know. So I think it's important to, like, whatever you do, it should have a purpose. So even if you, like, I never grew up thinking like, oh, I want to be an affiliate marketer one day. Like that's not a kid's dream, right? You don't even know what it is. But what I want is living a sick life, like an amazing freaking life. So that was my goal. If affiliate marketing or whatever it is the vehicle that takes me there, all right, then I do it with a purpose. Then, okay, I'm selling gadgets, I'm selling supplements, I'm bringing people to health insurances. Not so exciting by itself, but if taken in context, that is fucking exciting, because that can give you the actual freedom, location, time, space, whatever that you envision for yourself. So yes, that's like,
I think that's very important what you're saying, because like, you know, what does the podcast do? Well, it allows me to build an audience. It allows me to help people. It allows me to travel. It allows me to be surrounded by the kind of people that I want to have conversations with every day. So it ticks a lot of boxes for me. And I honestly believe in my heart that it will transform thousands of lives on the way. And yeah, I believe that it will kick back money down the future paths and all that stuff, and all that's taken care of. And I'm pursuing something that's purposeful to me, but fully understand along the way that it has to tick certain boxes in order for me to be able to keep the thing rocking and rolling, you know. So I think going in with your eyes wide open is the key metric.
Who do you visualize talking to in the future? on your podcast?
I visualize speaking Joe Rogan. I visualize speaking with Elon Musk. I've spoken to people that I've visualized speaking with. I've got a friend, hopefully, who I've been friends with for years and years. I've looked after her. Hopefully, I can bring her on the podcast. And she's one of the, in her space, is one of the biggest people in the world. And if I can bring that visualization to truth and have the conversation I know that I can have with her on this podcast, if I can bring that to fruition, that is a visualization. Because when I first started, it sat there in the spare room and a laptop in frustration, and I started out of frustration because I knew I should have been doing this a long time ago. To know how far I've come from the moment I recorded that first piece of audio to where I am now, and to know that what's had to go in to get to that level, that's a beautiful thing for me. Whether anyone else understands that, I don't know. But like for me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because it's been purposeful right the way along. Every rep, I've enjoyed every rep. People say to me, what's your favorite podcast, bro? I've loved every fucking minute of it. I love seeing the trailer. I'm already thinking about the trailer and the hook for this podcast for what you're doing. I already know that some of the little 1% cents that you've said are going to change the way people approach their ads. It's going to get people to think about putting affiliate marketing in their business and how they can add another scale of revenue to their business that may be struggling, or may be struggling to drive revenue from Google Ads. I don't know, but I just know that when you feel that, whatever that is for you, that is when you're in true alignment, and you can start to visualize and start to feel it. But I really do believe in what you're saying, that people should just take 10 minutes a day with themselves and kind of say, what is it I actually want? What do I actually want for my life? Because I don't believe people take enough time out. Is that kind of how you started with your visualization? I mean, just walk me through your visualization techniques.
Yeah, actually we went in another direction, which is amazing. But what you asked me before is how that helped me achieve what I was doing, and that is, I started working less, started visualizing, and then COVID hit, and my business was at first fucked. I didn't know how I was gonna be able to turn things around, because supply chain was blocked, shipping was super expensive, blah blah blah. But then it turned out to be the greatest opportunity ever. And then I had my affiliate marketing business, which also was it never really took the new project. I'm sorry. So the new affiliate marketing project, the brand that I was working with, was also not performing well. But I flew to Thailand, and I knew I was gonna get stuck there, but with my friends and partner. And I just told myself that on my way back, I would fly business, because back then I didn't really fly business, because I'm still very conservative with money in general. I don't like to overspend. And so back then I was if I'm gonna do this, is because I reached X amount of money, whatever it is. But that's not gonna be a problem. I'm gonna do it right away. And then I remember just being, I was climbing up the rooftop and just under the sun, closing my eyes, listening to the same guided meditation I still do it to the day. And just picturing the feeling of handing the keys of a house to my father, giving my mom a new watch that she wanted, being able to help her, because now she works with me, by the way. Before she lost her job, so it was a bit painful, and a bunch of other different things. The money, going to Dubai, skydiving. I remember skydiving, for example. I always associated with certain videos. And one of those videos were videos with Jay Alvarez, as an example. And I just remember picturing, and I didn't know Jay Alvarez, and I didn't even skydive, but I just remembered, as an example, that we would be at the door of the plane, looking at each other and be like, 1, 2, and jump together. Long story short, we did that. I had actually ended up meeting Jay, as an example, and we traveled the world. We went to Maldives, we went to the Bahamas. He's coming here today. So even that came. It was so specific. It's almost creepy. I even told him, I was I don't want to weird you out, but I actually picture this.
I went to Oman for 3 days with Jay Alvarez. We went on a boat trip. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, I remember in June. Yeah.
He's a crazy guy. Yeah, he smashed it in life. He smashed life.
Yeah, he had an insane run, and now he's hungry. I see him coming back. So, not like he ever left, but I feel like now he's there is some more energy in what he's doing, like drive. That's good to see. So all these things or visions mainly came true. So it's like, holy smokes, like that's pretty nuts. And I did that before, but you build this confidence, you achieve. First, it's, I want to have 100 likes on a Facebook page, then 100,000 likes on a Facebook page. Then 5 years later, $100,000 in a bank or whatever it is. So you build it up. So it's cool to see because you always become better at it, 1% per day, as you say. So that's the magic. Like, something happened to me on Friday. It's been 10 years that I've been looking into ayahuasca and DMT and how it affects our brains. And I did a lot of mushrooms, like since I'm 17, and I think that changed my whole perspective on life. But ayahuasca and DMT was something that I always had big respect to. And they say that it comes to you. So
I can add stuff where it calls you. You don't call it, it calls you. Mushrooms called you, yes?
Yeah, and they called me every now and then.
Yeah, and now DMT and ayahuasca's called you?
So on Friday, I went to the gym and I decided, and I realized that this is calling me, and it's been like some time. So I was looking into it. I'm going to fly to Costa Rica. There's a place called Soltaro. I found an interview by Jake Paul that was speaking about this experience there. And I was like, sounds trustworthy. I think I'm going to go there. I texted 2 friends and I said, we should go there. I went back home and I actually recorded a video around visualization. And then I was invited to join some friends and do a barbecue. And when I arrived there, they offered me mushrooms and DMT.
Wow. Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. I was like, after 10 years, I never ever said, I'm ready to do it now. The day I say I'm ready to do it, I get offered and they say that it comes to you. And it was an absolute kick. And it was magical, just the fact that it could happen. It was there. And then obviously the experience itself, which I'm still processing. So
I can talk into this because mushrooms changed my life. I went on a journey with breath work to clear out a lot of trauma from my childhood and stuff like that I had to get over, some misconnotations that I had that were limiting what I believed I could achieve in this world. And I knew if I wanted to get to the top level in the podcast game, I knew that had to be cleared out. So I kind of faced those demons through breath work and this, that, and the other. And then one day, mushrooms people started to talk to me about mushrooms, but I didn't feel the time was right. And then one day I just felt called to do them. And I went on started off with a 2.5 gram journey with a shaman. And then I've since been on like over 5 gram journeys with shamans. So I've been on like three or four big journeys, and I've learned more and more about myself and about the real world as I've gone on these things. Controlled environment, guided. Wouldn't suggest doing anything like that without controlled environment. Just want everyone to be clear about that. Then the shaman, the guy that guided me through, Lino, he said to me that, and then you when you've done these things and you realize how much you've got out of your mind, you realize, there's this thing called DMT and there's this thing called ayahuasca, and that's the next stages of plant medicines and all this kind of stuff. And you kind of want to go. And I remember Lino saying to me, Frankie, like, the same way that mushrooms called you, this DMT and this and that will call you as well. Because these are like plant medicines type. It's medicine. This is not drugs. This is medicine, right?
Yeah.
So I remember going through, and I wasn't feeling called to mushrooms. But then one day I was thinking in my head, I think I'm ready for this DMT. And then I went round my friend's house, and no word of a lie, he said to me, Frankie, like, we've got this DMT. This is 5-MeO DMT, which is like the most purest form of DMT that you can get, which is what your pineal gland produces when you ascend, essentially. And obviously I'm nervous, but I did this DMT, and again, another life-changing breakthrough moment in my life, because you can't explain what that looks like. I mean, if I asked you to explain DMT now, you wouldn't be able to articulate it. And I'm not going to be able to do it any justice now. But it's not just patterns, this, that, the other. What you learn about yourself by stepping out of your body in this kind of experience, in controlled environments, with people guiding you is like nothing I've ever experienced in my life, and I was called to do that. What was your experience of DMT like for you? I mean, can you put any words to
it? It's I didn't know what to expect, and there were people around, and I arrived, and one guy just took the biggest hit probably, and it was just like from the outside I just saw this body being stuck and just like almost got knocked out and was just almost paralyzed. And I looked at him and I was like, and I wanna do this. I'm not sure if I wanna do this. Then I talked to another guy and he just did it as well, and he was like, oh my god, it was so intense. Like I had so much fear because like I couldn't control it, and I felt all this wave hitting me, and I didn't know if I was gonna be able to escape it. And I was like, oh my god, that sounds pretty freaking scary. So what I did first was just taking just a tiny bit, just to dip my toes in the water, basically. And I was like, okay. I lay down, saw some patterns, as you said, felt like I wasn't there for a split second, but then quickly came back.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
You didn't go through the portal.
Not yet. So then I was like, my friend comes. She was like, okay, now it's ready for it. Now we made the pot. I think you should take this big hit. It's time. So I go there, and I have no idea. You can't prepare. Like if you think you can prepare, it's nonsense.
Not when you shoot through that portal.
No, you have. I didn't even know there was a portal. I mean, like I can't imagine. Like, but I was like, okay. So I sit down, and she's holding my head. She's talking to me, kind of guiding me a bit. Takes a few deep breaths, and I light it up. Take the first hit. Keep it inside. Take the second hit. Keep it inside. Take the third hit, and I think the fourth hit or so. I just remembered the light of the lighter. At first like just becoming smaller, and then yes, just like boom. I remember like I just wanted to cough it out. Like I had all this whatever it was, smoke physically, but it felt like completely something else. Like almost like some toxicity that had to come out. And I remember I had this entity in front of me, and it was like looking at me. I don't know how it looked like. It was like a bee or something, and it almost welcomed me to this realm. And I remember all these patterns, as you said, like HD, like full quality, like changing colors. Like if it was a music video, it would be a banger, I tell you that. It was insane. And it's just like warm, warm.
Yeah.
And then
did you hear the buzzing sound and then hear nothing?
Something like that.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Like it was like this. You could really feel the DMT just going through your brain, and just like I don't know, like
clearing, creating new neurological pathways that weren't there before. New ways of thinking, new ways of being, new ways of observing, potentially.
I guess, but it's been. I think I'm still processing. It's pretty recent. So, and then I did it a second time, and that's where everything mixed together. Like there was no reality, as we call it. I just remember my friend. She was inviting me to take another hit because you get stuck. Like I had this pipe and I couldn't move. I didn't move.
Yeah, and that's when you need to take the one last one that sends you through the portal.
Probably that's what I did, because then I just remembered I was going. I didn't exist anymore. You know, they call it ego death. I guess that's it, because like maybe I experienced that a bit with mushrooms, so I'm more positive. But I didn't exist. Like just going through doors, like lights, different things, emotions. Then remembering, oh my god, I think I did smoke something. And then just back in it, just getting lost, feeling. And then my friend was just holding me. I was like, hey, you're doing well. And just sometimes like, oh, she's here. So sometimes I would feel like an anchor to what we call reality, and then back at it, completely lost. Magical. Like, you can't explain it. It just, I did touch some parts at some point when coming down, where I would like open my eyes again, remember where I was, because it only lasts 10 minutes. And I just say,
it's 5-10 minutes, you're back in the room.
It feels like a lifetime though. So
and you can't overdose on it either.
Yeah, you can't. I believe you can't. I don't know. Mushrooms for sure you can't. That's what I know. But DMT, I have no idea. It's good to put it out.
But honestly, like when you go through the door to this alternate reality, and you see how beautiful it is, and how small you are in the grand scheme of things, you lose your ego, you lose your doubt, you come back with a new appreciation of self, a new appreciation of others, a new appreciation of the world. It's quite, anyone that says that ayahuasca, DMT or mushrooms hasn't changed their life, hasn't been taking it in what I term as a controlled environment for the right reason. They haven't been called to it. I think there's a lot of people that take this stuff recreationally that end up getting themselves a little bit fucked up on it, because you don't fuck with this stuff.
It's not recreational.
It's not recreational. It's a medicine that is to allow you the personal growth that you need at the time. So I'll give you an example. You will think in your life that you've got X problem that you need to solve, and you'll get called to DMT or mushrooms or ayahuasca, and you'll think that you're going in there to solve that. And when you go through any portal, or when you go through into these other realms, you'll find out that the problem that you were thinking you were going there to sort is not what you need to sort. There's something else that that you're told, or that you feel, or that is impressed upon you in this realm, that is the solution to something that you've never even conceived. And when you come out, for a week after, you just feel grateful, fully whole, like nothing you've ever experienced before. And it just, if you think about anyone that's ever achieved anything, all the top software companies and their CEOs, all these people, they're all microdosing. I spoke to the guy that built, one of the guys that was the first at MySpace. They were all microdosing back in the days, and a lot of creative people, a lot of top performers are microdosing, using mushrooms, using psilocybin, everything to get to this next level, because there is so much wisdom in this.
Wisdom is the key word.
And it allows you to get past your own self into the real wisdom, and not the bullshit that you tell yourself. Even on my first mushroom trip, massive ego death. You know, I realized in the first mushroom trip, why am I trying to compete with other podcasters? Why am I trying to fucking fight everybody? Just be the best.
You were a fighter, right?
Yeah, well,
like you were an actual fighter.
Well, I was fighting, I was doing boxing, I was involved in boxing, I was training top quality fighters, but my whole life was about fight or fly. Everything had to be a fight, you know? Everything I put out had to be a fight. Well, when I went through the first mushroom journey, it was like, hold on a minute, Frankie, you've spent your whole life fighting everybody else, wanting to be the best podcaster in this. How about you just be the best version of Frankie Lee, and the rest of it will just work out, mate? Like, you just worry about yourself, don't worry about fucking fighting this guy over here. He's got nothing to do with you. You just concentrate on you. What I'm trying to get across to everyone who listens to this is that it's like, there are so many lessons in life. This podcast we thought was about affiliate marketing. It's not turned out to be about affiliate marketing. What it's turned out to be about is about the biggest lessons in your life are what comes from your visualization, what comes from the journey you take internally, not from you can find any metric to attach to a purpose to make money, but it's the internal lessons that give you the most value. And I think from your journey, that's what we've kind of discovered. It's like, what else are you going to do to raise your conceptualization of who you are from this point?
Well, I do feel the calling to do a proper ayahuasca ceremony. I was thinking to go perhaps early next year, just to dive deep, because in this experience I realized there is some trauma there.
Oh, you realize that? Yeah, good.
Yeah, at the same time I also realized that I'm doing pretty well mentally, like there are things. So I touched that, like just a tiny bit. I wasn't in the right environment. It was the right environment for this time, but not the right environment to like fully go deep in that and completely open up.
You didn't feel safe enough in that moment to let go fully in order to open up those chapters. What are some of the things then that you feel are holding you back from like fully, like you said that you felt there's some trauma there. What do you feel caused those traumas? Because like we've all got these traumas within us.
Well, this particular feeling was something maybe deep in myself that I may or may not know exactly what it is. Like I'm very competitive as you. I I lived pretty chill the last 3 months, but last 3 years, because business is going well. But after some time, you want to do something new, and I feel like when I want to do something new, I kind of have this internal battle going on, and there's no need. Maybe I worry too much, more than what I like to admit to myself. I stress myself more than needed, and I wonder why that is happening. Like, like maybe it's again some feedback loop that I have from the past that I bring in the present moment that taught me that by living this way I can achieve some stuff, but that's not the point. Like, you can achieve same results in a state of bliss and happiness. So I wonder, like, that's why I want to go deeper.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, I still, I think the last time I did mushrooms was, I don't even know, more than a year. But last year I did, like, in 2 months, I did like 5 times, 6 times. Like, you're just calling me all the time. I'm talking about hero doses.
Once you get the money sorted in your life, and once you've achieved a certain level of what in your wildest dreams was success when you were a child, once you've achieved that, there's nowhere left to hide in terms of you have to face all the internal stuff as a man. So that's what I've found.
You think.
So
You think that's, you don't have to.
So for argument's sake, I felt a lack of love as a child that I've had to overcome in my adult life, which affected all my relationships with girlfriends and all this other stuff. And it was a whole plethora of things that came from my childhood. I didn't have to get over. I'd used that to a certain point to drive me towards my ideal life and to money and to everything else and to business and all that stuff. I'd used that to drive through boxing as well to achieve world title level as a trainer. All that stuff was driven by that lack of love that I felt as a child. However, I found once I had made the money that I needed to, like, pay my mortgage off, to put money in the bank, to buy these different assets that I have, to free myself from the quote-unquote matrix, that's when I had to address that dark wound. Because now I'm like, well, it can't really push me to the top in podcasting because it hasn't got enough juice in it anymore to do that. So it has to be addressed. This darkness is coming to the surface now because it's never been addressed. So darkness drives you to certain points. I'm telling everyone who listens to this, once you sort the money out as a man or as a woman, you have to deal with all the traumas. Like, or you will have to face what you believe is your darkest one. We'll figure out that. I think what you've found in your life from listening to you is that you've sorted all your money. You've got the cars, you've got the watches, you got beautiful women around you, all this stuff. You're living in Dubai, you're living a fucking fantastic life. You made you've gone from tens of millions a year. Now you're like, fuck me. Now everything that drove you to that level, now you're going to face that. That's what you're going to face next, and that's why you're being called.
But to be honest, in my experience, I faced them on the way. Like,
did you though? Did you face parts of it on the way? Because I think
I imagine myself, like I see other people, how they live, how they achieve their successes, and I just feel like I'm perhaps slower, but I feel like I'm a growing tree that you see as much on the outside, over the surface, as under the surface. That's how I picture it. So I feel like I'm equally growing, slow and steady, because I want to focus on all the category of life and not just maximize one part of my life, which is business, for example, and ignore all the rest. Like, I feel like I always had, like, enough common sense not to really ignore the other parts. And I see other people do the complete opposite. Maybe they maximize one out, and then after they start working on the other things. So they use trauma. Trauma can be your superpower, but it can also be your biggest enemy after some time.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't have cured it earlier, or like go into it, or because I had my traumatic experience. Why did I start making money so early on? We didn't speak about that, but it comes a lot from having pressure that my mom didn't have enough money, or so or at least that's how I saw it when growing up, because parents divorced, my mom didn't have a job, and the common topic at the dinner table with my mom was, I applied to this job, got rejected. I don't have enough money for this, blah, blah, blah. And then knowing that my dad had a job, it was also like, okay, he's good, but what about my mom? And all these fights around money in the family that, like this divorce took like 10 fucking years. It was one of the longest divorces in history, I believe. I don't know. So I was like, if I can make money for myself, great. And I'm not a weight to my mom. And if she needs me, I'm there. So making like $3,000 a month when I was 15, 16, that was like big success from that perspective. I didn't buy anything. Yes, maybe I did buy, I remember buying a PlayStation, a TV, which cost $250, Ronaldo jerseys every year, which is $70. But other than that, I was saved. I would buy my own clothes and buy food, whatever. But all the money was just saved. And to the day, I don't spend it much. Like I recently bought something expensive, but that feels almost something I should give back at some point.
Are you talking about the Ferrari?
I'm talking about the Ferrari, yes. But I usually don't, I don't.
Why do you think you bought the Ferrari?
I made a list of 30, 40 points, because you talked about being in competition with the world. I like to have the competition with myself, so I imagined what would be a better version of Alex look like. So I made different points. Let's say visualization, the same thing. One of them was he drives a supercar. I don't know why. I just visualized it. Maybe, it's not like I feel much different about it. Although the perception, for example, I told my dad that I did that, he started crying. When I told him that I made X amount of money or that I did this and that, he was proud. He was super happy for me. But the Ferrari just fucking clicked differently. I don't know why. So from the outside, I guess it would benefit my guru career. That's it. I can make ads now and tell people that they can live like me if they buy my course. No, I'm joking. I made the song. I made the song with before me. I made this joke about buying a Ferrari, like a guru does, so they can sell their courses. Like there was a whole thing about it.
But I'm sure you've actually bought it, not like hire purchasing it.
Yeah, that was the mistake at the end of the video because I had to rent it like a real guru, but I actually bought it. And that song that I made was actually, I said it was thanks to you because you introduced me to Jess Purple. Shout out to Jess Purple.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
I forgot about this, yes.
So music is one of my vocations. Like on my vision board right now, there is Micol, which represents me standing in front of 50,000 people in Paris and everyone is just like fucking jumping and having a party. That's something that I really want to do because I really want to.
I didn't even click. You told me before the podcast you had something to tell me that was going to shock me on the podcast, and that's it.
Yeah, you did it.
Because I connected you with my friend Jazz, who's a phenomenal musician that's written for some of the
good.
He's written for some of the biggest artists in the UK. And
Trey Songz, I think.
Trey Songz, Labyrinth, and all these kind of quality artists. And he's my mate. He lives out here. He lives a party boy lifestyle. Me and him. Are good friends, and I think he's smashing life. I couldn't live the life that he lives, and he invites me all the time to like his 5 Palm nights, and I'm like, I can't be surrounded. I can't be surrounded by those Thotianas, but I respect everything he's doing, and I remember connecting you by DM because you said you wanted to do some
I posted on my Instagram story. I am looking for someone,
and then that's when you produced this song, and basically the song, the prevalence. I'll try and link it under if I remember to do it, but if not, go on YouTube. But Alex has written a song about these fake gurus that sell you these courses predicated on all this other shit to show you guys essentially the red flags out there of what you're doing, and yeah, mate, that's a full circle moment for me. Like, I'm glad because like obviously like you've got educational stuff that you sell. I want people to make money out of what you've told them to do on this podcast, and then go on and use that money to if you want to learn more, but actually go and execute before they do that. But I think it's very, like, if you were going to give people some of the red flags, then from your opinion, from being in this industry, that they should avoid buying a course from someone who's talking shit, what would it be?
I think people should pay attention to how they behave, because you can tell if someone is lying by their behavior. It's hard to understand as an outsider if what they say is legit or not, but you can like especially if you don't have the knowledge in the industry, you can't easily spot it. If I hear someone speaking about marketing and ask them a few questions, I can have a feeling if he's 100% legit or not, and I would base my decision off that, if I'm gonna work with that person or buy his course. I don't really buy courses, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand if there's some value or not. But as an outsider, if you see someone that has the need to show every little thing that he does, or showing all the luxury and all of that, like in a excessive way, I think that's one of the first red flags. You could be a flashy guy, you know, that's not really my style. Like, I think I like people that are more low key. Like, yeah, maybe I bought a few watches, but I don't really wear them. One got even stolen. So maybe that's giving me some PTSD, so I don't really wear anything. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if someone is really like constantly showing blah blah blah, that's for me a big red flag. I think also, if you want to learn from someone, I would pick someone that matches your lifestyle. So maybe that's it. Maybe you want to have the Lambos, the girls, and talk about it and be very arrogant about it. Maybe that's your style. I know people that genuinely like that and are making good results. But if you don't want to be like that, maybe you could learn from someone that is a bit different. Maybe that is more low key, but when he speaks, is more like, feels genuine, it has results. Maybe you could check his real authority, not his own claims or some articles, but maybe feedbacks from other people that are respected in the industry. So how develop some kind of
discernment.
Sorry?
The word's discernment. Discern who's you can discern a lot by trusting your own gut. A lot of people are not trusting their own inner feeling. I think
also.
I think
it's amazing.
I mean, look, I've asked you to list the points because I wanted you to list them so that people could adopt them. But essentially, I think you all should know your own selves. I just want you to trust your own gut instincts on stuff. Yeah. You know the podcasters out there that are selling you products, that are just putting you in a funnel, and you know the podcasters out there that are generally trying to help you move forward. And it's to me, as a bald geezer trying to podcast, I can see it and it's obvious to me. If it's not obvious to you lot, then I don't know what you're watching. But if people show their true colors over a long amount of time, so before you buy anything, I encourage every single one of you to do your adequate due diligence into the person and whether the person's brought you value. I think you can't buy anything off someone that hasn't brought you value. And you know, I would take what Alex has said about earlier on this podcast about affiliate marketing. I'd implement it. I would try and scale something. Maybe get your first $50 to $100 a day. I think once you've done that, you've proven the process. You've got some win. You got some money. Use that money and then invest in the knowledge from there.
Maybe you don't even need to buy a course at the beginning.
Yeah,
because a lot of courses are like super pricey, and I remember people paying thousands of dollars in courses, and I'm like, wow. If I would just take that money and invest it in ads myself, I would learn way more than buying a course. Because if a course costs, I don't know, $1,500.
Yeah, it's dead money.
Yeah, then you need more money to invest or like do other things. It's like, wow, maybe you could, sure, some guidance. I'm the type of person that I rather pick an apple and give it a bite instead of and seeing how it tastes, instead of like buying a book about the taste of an apple. That makes sense. I just rather go into it like bam and learn from that. Learning by doing. That's my approach.
Well, by spending $1,500 on ads rather than the course, you're going to learn a hell of a lot more faster. It's a faster feedback loop, and when you're risking your own money in a practical way like that, I guarantee you between that first dollar spent and the $1,500 spent, you're going to learn something, and you're going to have iterated something on your ads, and you can't learn that by not practicing. So you need to practice in the physical reality and stop trying to procrastinate by buying courses to feel like you're moving forward, essentially.
Not just the ads, but also the confidence.
That
you're developing by,
I think just having the confidence into backup to say like, okay, I'm going to spend $1,500 in ads, and I'm willing to lose $1,500 in ads because I know that the lessons that I learn between the first dollar and the $1,500 is worth me learning.
Yeah.
And I think if you say that to yourself and then you commit to doing that and you don't judge yourself one way or the other, I think that's where all the lessons in your life will come from. And that'll change your life when it comes to online revenue. Just learn how to run ads. You'll make money forever. Like a simple way.
Or in general, just putting yourself on the line and risking. Like, it's very risky. A lot of people that start this business never had a business, never spend their money on ads. Like maybe they used to spend money to buy something and food, clothes, whatever, and see it and keep it. But this is very different because it's scary as hell to invest your own money.
But this money that you're investing is investing in the future self that you vision yourself to be.
That should be freaking clear at the beginning. That's why you should know why you're starting. Because if your why isn't strong, just like, I want to give it a try, watch a few lessons or whatever, or just launch 3 ads and it didn't work for me.
Yep.
Well, then the why wasn't strong. Like what I did when I started this like when I was 18, I sat down knowing nothing about the technical aspect, didn't make a single ad, but I told to myself that I'm going to sit on this chair, literally, and also practically, but I'm going to sit here until I make it. And this was an invisible contract to myself. And because I knew there was no other way around it. It could take 1 month, could take 6 months, could take a year, whatever. But I'm not going to give up because I know that this industry produces money, can give you the lifestyle. I didn't want to be a banker and sit, I don't know, and do boring things. I wanted to do this because I know that if one campaign starts flying, I can literally chill or do some minor work to maintain that performance and slowly test other products as well and do whatever I want because I'm in my 20s. I don't want to live in a cubicle, be stuck at home, or just work without getting to enjoy my life. So that was my idea.
Yeah, and when you got a burning desire like that, you can move mountains. If you were going to give people one piece of golden advice to leave this podcast with, one piece that you believe that has moved everyone in this audience that 1% forward from today, and you can't leave anything else for the world, what would it be?
Don't worry about the timing of when you're going to get those results, because looking back, it always comes your way, one way or the other. So the best thing you can do is just to put in the work every single day, or as much as you can, whatever it is, but just don't worry, it will come your way if you stick to it. And if you want to do affiliate marketing or whatever it is, just do the work you are avoiding. And that's probably the one thing you should be doing the most. Even if it's the most simple and easy thing, maybe that's it. And yeah, don't worry. That's, I think, the big thing. Also, the takeaway of my recent experience, let's say, it's
I like that.
Time doesn't exist.
Yes,
you know,
you realize, bro. You realize.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone in this podcast one day gets to see what we've potentially seen and be able to conceptualize and verbalize what they've seen. I think it's really hard though, but mate, I think we've gone all over the shop as I normally do with these podcasts because they're real, they're not scripted. But like I generally believe, guys, if you watch this twice, you'll get so much value out of this into how to discern, how to pick what you choose to pursue, you know, the wisdom on the mushrooms and the DMT, and you've got the actionable insights on the affiliate marketing and how you can scale these ads as well. And all that is in here. Listen back to it twice. I appreciate every single one of you doing, mate, and I appreciate you for coming on here, bro. And guys, do me a solid favor, like and subscribe on all the platforms, share this with your friends. I appreciate every single one of you listening. And I think I'm probably about 170 reps in by now, but I fucking still love it every single day. It still lights me up on every single way. So much love. Let's go. Guys, do me a solid favor. Drop a comment below this video and let us know who you want on the podcast next.